All right, here, let's go to this story. Barack Obama, right? This turned out, and you were right about this, Bill, the lab in Wuhan. And I didn't want to peddle any conspiracies because I know that we'll get snoped here on the YouTube. We have to be really careful about that, even though it wasn't necessarily a conspiracy. Right. Turns out that Barack Obama actually, the NIH under his rule, I was going to say rule. That's such a horrible way to put it.
His leadership.
They funded the Wuhan virology lab that ultimately leaked coronavirus to the world. So we know that there was a lab going on right now. We know that it may not have just come from a wet market, that it could have come from a lab and gotten to the wet market, but we do know that the lab has something to do with this. Let's go first to President Trump's response.
The Obama administration gave them a grant of $3.7 million. I've been hearing about that. And we've instructed that if any grants are going to that,
that lady was fetching.
Area, we're looking at it literally about an hour ago and also early in the morning. We will end that grant very quickly, but it was granted quite a while ago. They were granted a substantial amount of money. We're going to look at it and take a look, but I understand it was a number of years ago, right?
So
when did you hear the grant was made?
I love this.
2015. Who was president then? I wonder.
Oh! You know he heard her the first time when he said the year, and he's like,
so
"Oh, wait a minute, what was the year again?"
I will say this: Donald Trump doesn't tend to throw to the audience. He's like a lawyer. He never asks a question he doesn't know the answer to. So there's some new documents that have been showing the labs, their experiments by both the bat coronaviruses. Concerned officials in 2018 in the United States stopped sending assistance over to the lab.
Rightfully so.
In 2018. So this is also important to note because this shows a sequence of actions, right, of us having funded it at some point and then stopping it at another point, and then, okay, maybe people wanting to say we should start refunding it. I don't know exactly what's going on, what they're talking about on CNN right now. Italy considering which antibody test to adopt for national. Nobody cares. The Obama administration, this is something else that is really disconcerting to me. They funneled $340 million to the UN Population Fund that, of course, helped with China's one-child policy, where, of course, women were hogtied and forced to abort. So people don't know this. The one-child policy is basically a policy in China where they say you can only have one child because of population control. I was at the Cancun Climate Summit. This is back when it was called the Kyoto Protocol as opposed to the, is it the Paris Agreement?
The Paris Accord.
Paris Accord. It was the Montreal Agreement, Kyoto Protocol, and now it's the Paris Accord.
They have to come up with
But
different
back when it was the
names each
Cancun
time.
Climate Summit, it was a Kyoto Protocol. We even did a montage. Everyone saying Kyoto Protocol, because that was the buzzword of the day, and they all flew to Cancun because they couldn't do Zoom meetings, which now we know they should be doing.
Save the environment.
You know what? I do a Zoom meeting at my office, and I go there in a Hummer.
It equals out.
So I remember Ted Turner there praising China's one-child policy.
Yeah.
It was remarkable to me for someone that this just shows you that they are Team World, Team Gaia, and anti-human. I think we should keep our stuff clean. I think we shouldn't. You guys know I want to keep the office clean. I hate polluting. When I see someone throw some trash out the window, I'm furious because there's no reason to not put it in the trash can. Of course, we should do our best to be good stewards of what we have here on this earth. That being said, people take priority. And back with the Kyoto Protocol, when you would have looked at the skyrocketing energy costs, that was the package that I did back then. It would be inconvenient for Americans, and it would thrust third world countries into a plague of death, the likes of which they haven't seen in the modern world, because they too deserve their industrial revolution. So Barack Obama supported the one-child policy, funneling in millions, hundreds of millions. What is it? 300? How much money?
Oh,
340 million. Oof. I almost said 350.
You would have been wrong.
I almost used the rounding error, and then underneath
wrong.
this on the YouTube, it'll say, for all info on COVID-19, go to Washington Post and Snopes.
Exactly. So
For Pinocchios, bitch!
Right around the same time, I guess, that this was happening, I saw a TED Talk on population control, and I'll tie this back into China's one-child policy.
You saw a TED Talk, or you watched a TED Talk?
I went to.
Were you a passerby?
SMU. Yeah, I saw
Talk?
it was happening. And so in this presentation, they had a chart, and they said, here are these different countries' population per kind of family, right? Like how many people that they have, how many kids that they have. And what they said is we want to institute policies that push everybody into the bottom left, which was near zero, right? Or under one.
Okay.
And the reason that I'm bringing this up is because that kind of policy led to China having the one-child policy, thinking it was a great idea, but it would have the same effect on everybody else. And the entire room was applauding, saying this is how we should end the world, basically, because we aren't going to have enough kids to propagate anybody's culture anymore. I think you have to have like 2.4, 2.5 per family to do that. And everybody was cheering
and
it.
That's
People
really
from the government that were in the room cheering it. I'm sorry?
That's really unfortunate for the 0.4.
It is, yes. They don't get to be a full child.
That comes with selective breeding, the midgets.
Nice.
How do you choose to give birth to a midget? It's difficult.
I guess my point is that it was a bad idea that the government was peddling back at that time as well. So the Obama administration isn't just supporting the one-child policy. It goes much further than that. That was just one iteration.
And I guess your point was just a little boring. But
it was.
Bill is asleep.
Jerk.
Gerald, just learn how to edit.
I tried. You guys threw me off my game with the whole hill and dying thing.
So, Gerald, that's a really good point.
So
brevity is what you're saying.
One thing I also want to make sure, I'm getting this, he is the only president since Reagan, Barack Obama, to not cut off funding to the United Populations Fund.
Wow.
So it's not like, oh, everyone did it and then everyone went along with it and Donald Trump put a stop to it.
Yeah.
Right? And that would be nice if he was singularly unique. No. In this case, Barack Obama is the one who was unique. He said, yeah, okay, one child. Yeah, I'll fund it.